So she takes 30 drops or a dropperful, but she worked up to that over several years. She started with 1 drop, and after a couple of weeks, 2 drops. After a couple more weeks, 3 drops. And she worked up very gradually and adapted her body to it. And now she can do that, and it's a great blood cleanser for her, but you don't want to start with a whole dropper full of poke tincture. Just trust me on that. So you want to know these herbs that are extra powerful so you can put just a little bit in the formula. Other things, if it's a little milder, you want to put a little more. If it's really potent, you can put a little less. If you're giving it to someone who can't take a very strong flavor or doesn't like it or won't take the formula if it tastes too strong, then you can put a little less cayenne and a little more ginger so that it's not too strong for them. Maybe it's a little child or someone elderly. Actually, cayenne is great for children and the elderly, but sometimes they just don't like it. So you want to make a formula in a way that they'll be willing to take it and not complain too much so that they'll keep doing it, because it won't do them any good just sitting in the bottle. So, just think about all these little things. Again, experiment a little. Start out with the herbs in the medicines in your spice cupboard course, because they're very safe. All of them are Chris Lewis approved for experiment by laymen, and they aren't going to hurt you. You're not going to have anything blow up or hurt anybody by experimenting around with these herbs. Worst thing that can happen is either nothing or very little benefit if you do it really bad, or maybe if you really overdo it on something, the person will throw up, and 5 minutes later they'll feel fine, and you can go back to the drawing board and make a better formula. Maybe put some ginger in it to prevent the vomiting. Garlic is one thing. If you take it on an empty stomach, a lot of it can be just slightly upsetting to the stomach. So if you put ginger with the garlic, or just take a little bit less garlic at a time and spread it out, those are ways of avoiding that. A lot of times there will be herbs like ginger and wild yam to prevent gas in laxative formulas, and that's a great idea, because sometimes when your bowel starts working again, it hasn't worked so well in a while, there can be a little spitting and sputtering and backfiring like a car that's been in storage for 15 years. It's not going to purr like a kitten right away. So sometimes you get a little discomfort as it's cleaning out. After a very short time, it'll be working well and it'll feel fine. But sometimes you get a little bit of that initial gas and cramping. So some ginger and some wild yam or some fennel seed is another one we talked about in the series, can prevent that and keep you going comfortably. And we have a question, and we also have another commercial break that we need to get to, so why don't we go to that now, and we'll come back and I'll address that question and we'll talk more about formulas.
We all know the biggest challenge with staying healthy is putting a plan into place and sticking with it. When our life is balanced, keeping fit all seems so easy. But what happens when there's no time and life gets in the way? Staying on track means having the tools and support necessary to keep our priorities in place and maintain an unwavering commitment to a healthy lifestyle. There is a new online community with goal-setting tools and professional experts that will help us get fit and stay fit. Listen now for details from your radio show host. Let's talk about...
Hi, and welcome back to Growing Your Health. We are talking about formulas today, and I want to give a brief mention that if you want to find out more about MyRx for Living, this goal-setting coaching environment that can help you stay on track with your goals, you can go to chrislewismh.com and click on Online Coaching at the top right corner of the page. It's a great way to invest in yourself, and you can do a lot of stuff on the site for free, so definitely check that out. We do have a question, and I'll tie this into what we were talking about. A listener, Boris from Blog TV, wants to know about, ta-da, marijuana and its healing effects. And this seems to be a popular topic lately. I wonder why. Actually, a lot of states are starting to legalize its medicinal use, and they're regulating it pretty tightly. I actually heard lately that the police in Colorado, where I am, actually returned several pounds of marijuana to a clinic because it had been stolen from them by someone who obviously didn't have medicinal uses in mind. So things seem to be going in the direction that it probably will become much more legally accepted as a medicine. And I think that can be a good thing, but I think we have to be careful. I think we definitely have to be careful. That's actually a subject for a whole show, so I'll just make a couple of brief comments. Everyone knows that it can be used to treat glaucoma and cancer pain and chemo side effects. I would say the best cure for chemotherapy side effects is to not take chemotherapy. Do herbal therapy instead, and it just works better in that situation. It just gets a lot better results faster and without the side effects. And in my opinion, it's a lot more likely to save your life. In fact, chemo is so bad, it's, in my opinion, more likely to kill you than the cancer. It's just very, very, very toxic. I'd rather be on hemlock than on chemotherapy, personally. It's just horrible.